Daisy's already on like her third swim for today. I already sweated through my entire shirt. So I'm starting off here in the berry patch today. I would say for the most part, that whole entire half of the field now, like from the beginning all the way out to that single tree out there, is just about done. Now we're starting on our second half of the field, which is our mid-late and late berries. This is like the mid-late, this is the late. I like these varieties a lot because they have big, huge berries, but the birds were getting at them pretty hard. Like that's about as nice as you can ask for. And the birds didn't get these two, so I call them court fillers. And so we're just gonna move along out through here. I think mom and dad are both coming out eventually. The rows obviously don't have a ton of plants in them, so we're gonna be able to move pretty quick. This section here looks real good. That one I can't put in. Looks like the ants or a bird pecked at it or something. And the promising thing is that at least there's some more berries coming on and they look like they're gonna get to be decent sized. They're just barely coming on, so there's not a ton of them. But we gotta get these picked off or they're gonna go bad. We stopped here at the field to check out the potatoes, see if they're coming up yet. Yeah, it'd be in the high spot. Like right, these two rows are potatoes. This is a drive road, then over here, but they're not coming up yet.
This is a...
Yeah. The ground's cracking, but I don't know if it's just cracking or from the potatoes or if it's just cracking from whatever, but. Right here's one.
Oh, there you go, and there's another one.
Yep.
Okay.
So just barely starting to come up. We finished picking berries, went through 3/4 of the field, and we got 28 quarts. Nice, but just like every time, not many. So it has not rained yet, but it's supposed to very shortly. So we're trying to get as much work done as possible. Dad's gonna go get more fields prepped to lay plastic. And if you haven't seen any of that, you can go in my last video. And we were doing that towards the end of the day. And while he's doing that, I'm gonna go get the Kubota and head to the field to start planting red beets. So this is how I'm gonna plant red beets. And this is the field I'm planting them in. My dad already made the rows 1, 2, 3, and 4. You may be wondering how this bike works. Maybe you've seen one, maybe you haven't, but regardless, it comes with these plates. This plate right here, it even says specifically for small peas and beans. And then I have this box here with a ton of other plates to plant other different seeds, like beets. And then we have a different one for beets that I think my dad actually taped off, which I'm gonna be using today, because it actually plants the red beets too thick, and then they don't grow near as fast as we would like them to. We have one for jumbo peas, sweet corn, cabbage, onions, tomatoes, radishes, but we're only worried about the beets today. And so if you have a garden that's a decent size, I would recommend getting one of these. It saves you a lot of time. Unless you have time on your hands, then by all means, do it by hand. Now, obviously, there is machines that will plant this stuff for us, but we only do, like I said, 4 rows, and in half hour, 45 minutes, I'm gonna be done. The longest part is honestly switching seeds because we do 4 different varieties. In my experience, you don't want to fill it too full or you will clog it up. So here we go. And I already hit a rock right in the beginning. What in the world? We're gonna skip over that guy. So the main thing is I want to keep down pressure on the bike because the wheel spinning is what drops my seeds in the ground. Like everything else, it goes a lot smoother when there's not a ton of rocks in my way. And so far this field's pretty good. couple things I want to watch for while I'm going is making sure my plate is spinning, picking up the seeds and dropping them down. And then sometimes I'll even look back in here, and you probably can't see it, but right down in that chute there in the middle, the seeds are falling down through. The front tire is the one that turns the plate. So I try and keep a little more pressure up front than in the back, because if that tire lifts off the ground, I'm not planting. I'm not kidding you when I say that was one of the hardest things I did so far yet this year. Like, the ground didn't look bad, and I think I even said it wasn't that rocky, but out here at the other end, away from the Kubota, it was so rocky, I was pushing with all my might. Still would have to stop, pick the rocks out. It was just horrible. And on top of that, it's so hot and muggy. I already sweated through my entire shirt, but you can see the storm is coming, and I guess that's why it's getting so hot. But the red beets are in the ground, so that's great. Dad, if you can see him, he's out there here in the field right now, trying to get ready for plastic, but I don't know if we're gonna get done in time. I think that's his last pass. Every year we lay out the field the same way. Like for the early season, it's red beets, and then zucchini, cucumbers, pickles, and plastic, and then our cole crops. Oh, and there's a driver over there in between the cole crops and the plastic. Daisy's already on like her third swim for today. She's ready to go in the air-conditioned house. This stuff with all this rain is just doing awesome. This is broccoli right here. Then it goes into cabbage. And then right here starts the cauliflower. And then right here is our peas and beans. Man, is it getting dark. What I don't like though is it's already getting weedy here. We'll have to cultivate this probably really soon. Problem is they're so small that when we cultivate, any big rocks, even like this guy, sometimes flip right onto them. Then we got to come back through and pick them off. So Dad said he just heard that over in Bloomsburg, which is like a half hour away from here, they got 2 inches of rain in like a half hour. So we're gonna try and get this laid before anything comes. All right. Go ahead. So we just finished up the pepper field. We do peppers in plastic, and then we also do them in just the bare ground. So that's good. We beat the rain. Technically it should have been raining by now. I'm not sure if it's gonna hit us. Maybe it'll miss us altogether. I don't really know. But we do have a lot more to lay, but we're not gonna chance it. He's gonna go get that in until we know the rain's done, and then we'll come back out if conditions are right. The only thing that sucks about this plastic layer is it leaves huge mounds at the end. I don't think there's any way to get around it. And we actually bottom out with our water wheel planer then when we go over it, if we don't flatten them out somewhat. So we have to take a little more time than when we're done, but that plastic layer does save us a lot of time. So I guess it's okay. So it's the next day, just getting down here now to the farm. Gonna go do barn work. Got Daisy and Lily over there by the high tunnel. Sammy, unfortunately, hasn't been around the past couple days. Between studying, she wasn't feeling good, and now today she's actually working. She just hasn't had a lot of time to be up here, but she always says she'd rather be here than going to work. So I was on my way to feed the cows, chop buckets in the back, and in our cousin's field where they just laid plastic, I see a turtle, which I'm pretty positive is a snapping turtle because it's huge, in the plastic that they just laid yesterday. "100% a snapping turtle." Look at him turning at me. Look at that. That's crazy. I don't mess with these things. No way, man. But I'm also afraid the dog's getting after it. Let's see if he snaps. He's not snapping. Oh, his mouth's opening. No. Huh, interesting. You guys are getting a little bit of a later breakfast than normal. That one in the back don't even care to get up. Oh, there he goes. Now he's getting hungry. The dogs were through here this morning. I can't believe they didn't get tangled up with it.
Is that the turtle?
Yeah, for sure. Look at his claw marks. I don't know where he's going. Looks like he went here.
I would have looked at that and thought there was a pile of dirt, and I would have thought, now how did that pile of dirt get there? I mean, I don't know, my eyes aren't that good, I guess. He's wet. How's he wet?
Well, it just rained. It's muddy. He's crawling through the dirt. Are you gonna pick him up?
Yeah.
Grab him by the tail. He won't hurt you.
No.
I was trying to get him to snap with that corn stalk, but he wouldn't do it.
I kind of figured that's what that was there for.
So I just went through and watered what needed to be done. Should be good now for a little while because it's very cloudy and stuff isn't using as much water as normal, which is good. A couple days ago when we were getting like 90-degree temperatures, 100-degree temperatures, and it was completely sunny, we were watering everything every like 3-4 hours. It was just drying out so fast. But hopefully, I'm thinking 2 more good weeks is all we need at hometown, and we should basically be cleared out of everything. But if we start getting this rain like we have been, that's gonna really hurt us, which it already has hurt us. Daisy and I are heading down now to Graham's house. That'll fly off your head. I'm gonna grab the new Kubota, load it up with plastic. Dad's gonna get the tractor and plastic layer, and we're gonna head to the field. So it's the next day, and as I always say, things are constantly changing. We were about to head to the field to go lay that plastic, and then it started to rain. Got the dirt too wet for us to get into the field, so we just let it go. And now we're gonna hit it again today after we get the greenhouses watered. Today we will be laying drip tape for the cantaloupe and watermelon and the pickle, zucchini, and cucumbers. And then here's our extra rolls of plastic. Just to give you a reference of how much bigger the Kubota bed is, these are not quite all the way to the back, and we have about 2 foot, maybe not quite, of space in front. And in our other Kubota, we can't even fit them at all in the Kubota bed. Like we can't even close the tailgate. So this is just so nice. Here comes Dad now. This right here is gonna be the plastic for pickles, cucumbers, and zucchini. And then out there at the end of the cole crops is gonna be all of our cantaloupe, watermelon, and honeydew. Cap off of there.
Didn't expect that.
I think we have to take this thing down. And which way does it go? Is there a...
It rolls off the front, right?
Which way?
Can't see my tail ain't here.
Then it goes the other way.
Yeah, just like that.
Just like this?
Well, that's rolling off the bottom.
Yeah, rolling off the front.
You see me drop the roll down. This is where we just put our extra roll. That way, if we do need to stop in the middle of the field, we don't have to bring the Kubota out through. The soil is very soft. My dad just got done tilling it. So this big shoe here, we'll gather it. And that one there on that side, we'll throw it back in. And then right here is where it forms the bed. And then obviously the plastic, which is behind these two tires, is then laid out over. And then this disc helps gather dirt along with both these shoes. And then this right here is what covers it. That way the plastic doesn't pull back up out of the ground. While we're on the move, I can adjust these 4 levers right here, which move this in and out, as well as this one. That way I can cover the edges of the plastic more or less, depending if we're on a side hill or if there's a lot of rocks or just many other situations. So we're just about ready to start. We're running drip line today, just because this field is very easily accessible. We can get our sand filters over here. We have a line that comes out of the ground right there, so it won't be too bad.
Okay, so I gotta pull this down?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna tell him to drop it.
All right, no, wait. All right.
All right, drop it.
Drop it?
Yeah. Okay.
I wish that moved a little slower. Now,
now-
is he getting ready to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Just make sure you have a good foot on that drip
I don't
tape.
want that wheel to run over my foot.
It's not gonna hurt. It flips up in the air. Even if it would, but.
More of my weight on that foot.
All right.
All right, we'll see what happens.
For spraying purposes, my dad cannot spray more than 3 rows with 1 boom. So we'll do 3 rows, a dry road, which we're making right now, then 6 rows, then another dry road, and then so on and so forth. It's not so bad today because, like I was saying, we got some rain yesterday, put some moisture in the ground, and so it's not horribly dusty. But sometimes I have to wear a face mask because I physically cannot breathe. All right. Go ahead. So we have 2 rows left to go. They're not going to be full. You could show them out there. Obviously, our drive road needs to be in the center, and we can't block off our drive. So we're going to do 1 more row up there, 1 more row down here, and then right in the middle will be where we drive. The plastic's all finished up. And then we just came right down here. I'll show you what the whole field looks like in a little bit. Sammy came right as we were finishing up. She helped cover a couple rows with Mom. And now we're gonna tie tomatoes to finish up the day. It is Sunday, so like I always say, we try not to work longer than we need to. But it's been longer than it should have been since we've been in here to tie these, and they have just grown like crazy. You can see how just huge, healthy, thick the stems are. Now, actually, as you go this way in the greenhouse, the tomatoes aren't quite as nice because they lay too wet, especially with all the rain that we've been having. So like you can see here, like these are about as nice as they get. And there's obviously always one or two that just don't really turn out, that being one of the plants. But over here, and this is how you know they're too big. They're starting to lay down over. Now it's not kinked, so it's gonna be just fine. We'll pick that back up with the string and it'll be good to go as soon as we're done. But like, this tomato is beautiful, but up here you can just tell like they're not as thick around, they're not as high. I wouldn't say they're not as healthy because they are pretty nice, except for like this guy here again. I think there's probably another one here yet that is the same way, and they just can't handle that much water and it killed them. Or at least that's my theory anyway. So we'll get them pulled out. We won't plant another one in now, only because it's too late. It would take them way too long to catch up and it's just not worth it. So if we lose what, probably 2 to 5 plants out of the whole entire high tunnel, you know, we're really not doing bad at all because the rest of them are doing as good as we could possibly hope for. Sammy's wearing gloves, and you can see after doing 4 rows, this is what they look like. And you probably can't really tell on my hands, but like what happens is it cracks them. And then eventually they start to bleed if you let them go far enough. Right now is one of the most delicate times because the plants are obviously huge, they're grown into each other, and if you're too rough, you're gonna snap them. You also can't make the string too tight because you're gonna suffocate them and kill them that way. So, like I said, just gotta be careful. This is the 3rd tying. Honestly, we probably should be on our 5th tying by now at this height, but they got neglected a little bit. And when I say neglected, I don't mean like as far as care goes, just as far as tying goes. Like they shouldn't be hanging out over as far as they are. It just makes it harder for Sammy, and it's not good to put that kind of stress on the tomato. But like I said, it is what it is, and they'll make it through, that's for sure. All right, tomatoes are tied. Let's go check out the field. 3 rows here, and there is 5, 7, like 10 rows out there for the cantaloupe and watermelon, and then there's the rows we just laid the day before for the peppers. Next step is planting. Got a lot to plant, and hopefully the weather's gonna cooperate. But with that being said, that's what I'm calling it a wrap for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and always remember it ain't much, but it's honest work.